AITA for not making my daughter invite the special needs student in her class to her birthday party. My daughter is in the 2nd grade, her birthday is coming up, and we have a pool party planned at our park district for her birthday with her classmates. One student in her class, let's call him Tyler, is nonverbal autistic. I've met him a few times, and he's a sweet kid, but yeah, nonverbal autistic. He is in my daughter's class partially, but leaves midway through the day to go to a special program or something. Now I told my daughter she can either invite all the girls or the entire class. I'm not letting her invite specific people and single anyone out. She ended up choosing the whole class, but my daughter, as respectfully as a 2nd grader could be, asked me if it was okay if Tyler did not receive an invite. She said he's barely in her class and doesn't really know anyone, and it might be tough for him to be at a pool party. I talked to my husband about this, and we ended up deciding that she does not have to invite him. She has to give out her invitations through mail however, because I do not want him seeing her giving invitations out. Anyways, I was talking about this at my work with a couple other nurses and a few of them thought I was being horrible by telling her she didn't need to include the child with special needs. I said that I do not have any experience handling special needs children, and I didn't know if he would need special assistance or even need his mom or a caretaker there the whole time. A coworker told me I made a huge mistake by teaching my daughter that it's okay to exclude those who are different. IDK if I'd read that much into it. AITA? Now I told my daughter she can either invite all the girls or the entire class. I'm not letting her invite specific people and single anyone out, except for excluding the kid with autism. Yeah, no. Your daughter is at an age where kids are developing empathy and learning how to interact with people, and this is absolutely the wrong message to give her. You told her she's not allowed to exclude specific people, but you're bending that rule to allow her to exclude the one different kid in her class. It isn't just about your daughter. It's about the message that it sends to all of the other kids who are invited, and the message it sends to Tyler. And even if Tyler doesn't find out or isn't able to understand the social implications of being excluded, how much might it mean to Tyler's parents that his classmates chose to include him? Invite the kid. Now I know I'm in the minority on this one, but I think it needs to be said. You aren't in the wrong at all for not inviting Tyler. Starting with the basics, both you and your daughter don't feel comfortable having him there, which is reason enough, but to top it off he is nonverbal, which not only makes logistics and ensuring safety harder, it makes it more difficult for your daughter to connect with him and ensure that both of them are having a good time. I'm a lifeguard, spent most of my teens on it, and a good chunk of my 20s, and I would often lifeguard sessions where autistic kids attended. There was no more issue with safety with them than anyone else. The lifeguards at the pool will have no problem at all making sure the kids are safe. And also, lots of nonverbal kids love sensory stuff like water. NTA, it's your kid's party and the child she doesn't want to invite only attends half the class, so probably doesn't really have friends in that class. Kids need to learn that they won't always be invited to everything just because they share a class with someone. When I was a kid it was just invite who you want, not this invite everybody or all one gender rubbish. If your kid doesn't want them there, that's their choice. It's not even about the kid being autistic. Would you make your kid invite their class bully who torments them to the party? No, you wouldn't. Let your kid know that they have autonomy in their decisions and you will stand by her choice for her birthday party. Even if people get upset, it doesn't matter, it's her party, her choice on who goes. It's not even about the kid being autistic, except it is about the kid being autistic. They are specifically excluding him because he has autism. As for your whole kids need to learn they won't get invited to everything, believe me, given how common it is to be excluded for disabilities, especially as a child. Tyler has probably already learned this and then some. I guarantee he gets excluded from everything for his autism because of heartless people like you and Opus. Okay honey, you can invite all the girls or everyone, because people will feel bad if you single them out and don't invite them. Oh, that weird autistic kid. Nah, it's fine to exclude him. That rule only applies to the normal kids. So you set an anti-exclusion rule and then immediately broke it because your daughter doesn't want the autistic kid to be there. Gee, what a fantastic message to send. Be inclusive of everyone. Except those autistic freaks. They're fair game. Also, I think it's pretty telling how you've written this out like your daughter is primarily concerned about Tyler. Like she's in grade 2. We all know what she asked as respectfully as she could actually means. She told you she didn't want the weird autistic kid there, and you made her excuses for her. But I'm not blaming your daughter, because kids don't pick up these views from nowhere, do they? No, when kids learn to exclude people who don't fit in, it's because their parents have set a standard of this being okay. An appropriate response to your daughter's polite request would be to say now how do you think that would make Tyler feel? Instead you doubled down, and when she inevitably mentions this to her friends, they'll start excluding him too. Do you think that that's going to help him stay in class more? Oh wait, of course that's not an issue, because we autistic freaks shouldn't be around normal people anyway. AITA. NTA, I know I'm going against the grain. Please correct me if I got anything wrong, or if you disagree. From the story it sounds like Op daughter asked for Tyler not to be in her party. I don't think Op is an asshole for not making the daughter invite Tyler. She has expressed who she wants at the party and she knew it was a sensitive topic. In school I was the unpopular kid who no one invited. I found my own group of friends later and had my own parties. I think it would be even more sad to get a pity invite because of his mental condition rather than getting invited because he knows them well. Just my 2 cents, and would like to hear what you guys think equals. AITA. You are definitely teaching your daughter that it's okay to exclude people who are different. It's not your choice if he can handle the party or not. He should absolutely receive an invite and his parents/caregivers can decide if he's capable of attending. AITA, I miss the fact that you're a fucking nurse because I was so mad already. You really should know better. I hope your coworkers report your lack of compassion to the higher ups because I can only imagine what your bedside manner is like. AITA, for getting a coworker whose children died FUD. I work with a woman whose 2 of 5 children died in a car crash. She was given 2 weeks of paid leave and then she returned to work. However, when she returned I had to do her assignment with her. The assignment was hard and meant for 2 people, but she didn't help out at all. When I told her I was going to tell the boss, she told the boss that I wasn't working and she was doing the assignment. I was given a warning. She would get sidetracked a lot and she would gamble online a lot during work. She'd come in drunk a lot and yell at me. When I'd tell my boss, he'd say that she was just recovering from losing 2 kids. Plus he said I didn't have evidence. Finally I decided to gather evidence. I recorded our conversations, Aka yelling at me, and take photos of her off task. About 2 weeks after her paid 2 weeks off, I brought this to my boss. He was astonished. She was fired for verbal abuse and being off task. After all of this, some of my other coworkers came up to me and told me I'm being an asshole. They also said that it was wrong of me to record our conversations and getting her fired after she lost 2 of her children. So Reddit, AITA, edit, wow, I got tons of mixed replies. NTA, AITA. NTA, while I can see where many people may have the knee-jerk reaction of saying you're in the wrong and having empathy for this person ultimately not doing their job, verbal abuse and drinking on the job or coming to the job under the influence cannot be ignored. While I can see giving some leeway and understanding given the loss and clear trauma of that, it cannot be a blanket reason for a person's behavior. I do wonder if rather than being fired your boss could have made other arrangements to help this person get back to a place mentally where they are capable of functioning in the workplace. Not sure where you live, but I know here there are programs for employees to assist as an alternative to losing their job. Sounds like they just aren't ready to be back at work. AITA, op cold gone to boss and requested that they insist coworker takes more time off /therapy before returning to work due to the abuse he was enduring at the hands of her losses. Now she must cope with the fact she's lost 2 children and unemployed. Life seems to be throwing her in the deep end, and I hope Bob is never in this situation, and if he is, that someone offers him more compassion than he showed this woman. I'm scared of what people are turning into. It seems we don't have empathy anymore. NTA, she had it coming, to be honest. Losing 2 kids is horrible. Everyone gets that. But going through even the worst trauma doesn't give you an excuse to be an asshole. She should have asked to get more time off or do something else, but not verbally abuse you and lie to her boss. AITA. She wasn't fit for work. There are certain times when you just should suck it up. This was one of them. You claim you thought 2 weeks wasn't enough, but obviously you don't actually believe that's true. Otherwise, you wouldn't have threatened going to the boss. Your company is also horrible. You should remember that this is how they treat staff and plan accordingly. Your former coworker sucks for lying and taking credit for your work. Your boss sucks for not knowing what's going on in the shop and just firing an employee. That's some lousy leadership right there. You suck major ass for recording and evidence gathering. I wouldn't want to work with you. You're a snake in the grass. It seems your coworkers agree with me. If your former coworker's actions were brought on by her children's deaths, I will give her an automatic pass-through, making especially you and your boss prime un-VIP'd assholes. If she was like that before, she has my sympathy, but she also sucks. NTA. She falsely accused you of not doing the work, and then she took credit for it. You got a warning, and she put your job at risk, based on her lies. She continued to verbally abuse you. I can't imagine what it's like to lose your kids. She should have been given longer time off to grieve, for instance months, and a gradual return to work plan. She's clearly struggling and needs therapy. However, none of this is your fault or excuses her behavior. No one should be treated the way she treated you. You needed to record those conversations because she was putting your job at risk and you had already received a warning. It was your boss' choice to fire her, not yours. AITA for telling my wife she doesn't have postpartum depression. I feel awful about it, but so, my wife gave birth to a healthy baby girl a month and a half ago. I wouldn't exchange the world for my daughter. She's my first daughter, but my wife has twin sons from another marriage. However, ever since she gave birth, she's been neglectful. I don't mean she won't do the housework, but more so, she's not doing anything at all. I'm taking care of the baby, I'm doing the housework, etc. etc. When I asked her if she could do something, she said that she had postpartum depression and therefore can't take care of our daughter. I told her we can go to therapy if she wants, but she refused because it's not that serious. I was initially annoyed, but went like fuck it, she's a new mom, pregnancy hurts. Yesterday she sat me down and told me that she was going to go for a month abroad with her girlfriends to party and loosen up so it would get her out of the emotional slump. Now, I've pretty much used up all my holidays and can't stay at home to take care of my daughter, so I asked her would take care of our daughter. She told me to hire someone or have our sons do it. I flipped out. I told her she doesn't have PPD, she's just fucking neglectful, and 8-year-olds are in no way or form supposed to be taking care of a newborn, and besides, they have a school to fucking go to. I told her if she goes on this trip, it's a divorce. I love her, but I cannot abide by this. Now she's mad and won't talk to me, and I'm sleeping on the couch. AITA here. Edit/info. I don't know how she was with the twins. They are my stepchildren. I might ask her family if they know. She has done literally nothing to our baby girl. Her PPD is self-diagnosed. I think I saw a comment about that. Sleeping on the couch is the least of my worries right now. But the baby was planned. We both wanted and felt ready for a child together. I'll talk with her tonight and tell her that if she wants to go on a holiday with her friends, which I still hate the idea of, she has to go to a psychiatrist and talk with him about this first. Until then, I'll keep the daughter with my mum when I'm at work. Someone mentioned possibility of hurting our baby, and I don't think she's like this, but it's to put my heart at ease. I feel like she pretty clearly has postpartum, but does not want to deal with it. Telling her she does not have it was not the way to go. Her abandoning a newborn is unacceptable, but it seems like there is nothing you can do to stop her, unless you can orchestrate an intervention or something. AITA. My husband had to call my OBGYN because I had such bad PPD. I had no idea how truly out of control I had gotten. I would lay on the ground in front of baby's crib and cry for hours. He would come home and find me. I had horrible thoughts. I felt absolutely nothing for baby. I had thoughts of drowning baby in our pool. Driving us into the beach. We live near the beach. I was by legal definition, completely insane. My husband saw my mental health failing. He called my OBGYN. I got referred to a psychiatrist and was put on medication. To say I improved pretty quickly is an understatement. I was a completely different person. I love my baby so much. We are bonded now and attached at the hip. My husband saved my life and our babies. Be the hero in this story. To clarify, I'm calling you an asshole for you saying she doesn't have PPD. You are not a qualified medical professional to make that kind of statement. PPD manifests in many different ways. Some women can take care of their baby during it, others not. Your wife probably really hates herself right now. She hates herself for not being in love with the baby. She needs a doctor. She's the mother of your child. Help her. Only because I do think your wife is ill, and because she is ill, is not also the R. It's sort of ish, but mental illness often tells sick people not to get help, which is why I don't think she can be the R. Her brain is working against her. Because you told her she's not sick, she's fucking neglectful. She is sick. Unless you have totally omitted that she has a history of absolutely neglecting her children. This is quite obviously something wrong. Since you married her and planned a baby with her, I'm assuming she is typically a loving and attentive mother. Saying she's neglectful is really not helpful. I totally get that you are at your wit's end, but intervening before it got this far was the much better option. Her once saying she won't go to a counselor before it got this far isn't enough. She needs help. She needs ultimatums certainly, but not cursing and dismissing her. I would absolutely say the holiday is a no-go and that, if she won't get help, you will file for divorce. She needs to speak with her OB about a referral to a postpartum specialist. I've never had PPD, but I've been on there with some close friends. The versions I've seen have been either hyper attachment to the baby, to the point where they aren't eating, sleeping, showering, or absolute detachment and inability to bond. Your wife sounds like the second to a T. She needs help as soon as possible. Get a close friend, sister, her mom, whoever to back you up. Come at her with compassion, but be firm. This has to change. She needs help, and you need to be a part of that. Soft-ish in depression for real. You can't just tell her what she is going through isn't real. And you need to get her to a therapist. Don't ask her, tell her. You are the one who is functioning. She doesn't care about anything right now, and it's gonna go so much more downhill if she goes out go for a month. But due to her depression her logic is fed up, and she can't see that. Get her help ASAP. I hope your family can help you through this tough time, and that everything can return to a functioning level. PPD is pretty easy to self-diagnose, but there are a lot of different levels of it. She needs to see a psychiatrist. Neglect and feeling extremely disconnected from the baby and life is a more extreme version of PPD. Get her help, and stop fighting with her. I know it's stressful, but yelling at her and telling her she's a bad mother and lazy isn't going to help things. It will just make them worse. Let her know that her getting help is important, and you will divorce her if she refuses to get help. Make sure you talk to a lawyer now to figure out how to get full custody if she continues to act this way and refuse help. Now, from what you've written in the post, your wife is showing signs of PPD. The neglect she's showing to your newborn, and how she wants to leave for a month when the baby is less than a year old all points towards the possibility that she has PPD. Yes, what she's doing is quite irrational, but she is clearly going through something that she doesn't understand herself. Your job, as the husband, is not to threaten to divorce her, but to support her during this difficult time in her life. Go read up about PPD. Go and search how you can support her emotionally. She's probably not familiar with treatments that can help her, and there's still a big stigma surrounding mental health conditions. Tell her sincerely that you are worried about her and that she needs to go see a psychologist about this. I understand that this is hard for you too, and you acted on what you thought was right. I'm sorry you're going through this. I truly hope your wife will go for therapy and that she'll recover well. NTA, postpartum or not, you have to put things frankly to her. You need to cover your bases 100% and get on the divorce lawyer now. Not to really file for divorce as of yet, but how to protect yourself. Also, if the twins' father is around, get him involved. Someone needs to take them for a while. PPD by definition is basically the mother being neglectful. However, her saying I have PPD, so I can't do it sounds super suspicious. Plus she's oh so depressed, but she wants to go on vacation with her friends for a month. Yeah, I'm gonna say she's just a neglectful bum. My wife had PPD for our first and this definitely doesn't sound like it. She probably does have PPD, but I don't think that's an excuse to leave a newborn for a month. She should go to therapy and you need to be supportive. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos. Be safe and wash your hands.